Okay, the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to actually mount the outside pumps. So these are the 2 extra pumps. There's going to be 4 bolts that actually hold the frame, and then one goes through the top when the cover's on. When you put the bolts in, you'll notice I have these 2 already started, and I've come in from the back side with the nuts on the front. The bolts are going to line up a little bit nicer this way, and it's going to make it a little bit easier to mount the pump. On the top side, we'll take the bolt and come through the front. Okay, the pump frame is actually slotted, so I'm going to be able to bring the pump in and just slot them right over these bottom bolts, and then we'll secure it with the top. Okay, now that they're in, I'm just going to go ahead and bolt the tops, and then we'll be good. Okay, now we have both pumps mounted. We do have some electrical connections to finish actually connecting the pump to the actual main frame or main body. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount up the color change valves for the extra set of 2 pumps. Here, you're going to have some options as to how you want to mount it. If you have lower amounts of color stacks, if you can fit the next set on this other bracket, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install this second bracket on the outside here. But again, you have options. You're just going to have to decide where exactly you want those next set of valves to be mounted. The key to remember is wherever you mount this bracket, make sure that you can use the hose that comes with the system, because you want to keep this hose as short as possible so you can minimize material waste every time you do a color change. So again, keep it nice and short. For this, I'm going to mount it right onto the outside of this pump like we did for the first set of pumps. Okay, so now we have all 4 pumps mounted. We have all the color change stacks mounted. But I want to talk a little bit about low pressure and high pressure color change valves. So far, we've done all low pressure valves. However, over on the second catalyst pump, we have a high pressure set of valves, and we're using this just for a visual today. You're going to notice that it looks just a little bit different. It's all stainless steel. I want to talk a little bit about the flow again of the material as it's going through the sets of valves in the pump. Because as I said earlier, we've got paint coming in on the back side. It's coming through this hose to the inlet of the pump, outlet of the pump, back to the outlet set of color change valves. When we do a color change through the pump, one of the valves, and it's the top one here, is the dump valve. In other words, when we color change, the material that we're dumping from the pump is going to go out this port. The solvent that's flushing it is also going to go out that port. Because it's high pressure, we need to slow the flow down a little bit. So when you get a high pressure color change, you're going to get a back pressure regulator kit that's delivered with it. And that's going to be mounted right on that port, and then this becomes your dump line. This is only there, again, as a back pressure regulator with a gauge so you can monitor the pressure to slow the flow of material down when you're doing a color change. Okay, we're going to go ahead and connect the pumps electrically now. We have both pumps. This is the second base, and then we have the secondary catalyst. And we have 2 cables. We have a communication cable for the pump and a power cable. There's a knockout in the side of the panel. We got a strain relief we're going to install. And then once we run these cables into the box, on the EFCM, there's going to be a specific position for whatever pump we're connecting. This is a base pump, so it's going to go to position 3. This is the catalyst pump, so it's going to go to position 4. And then down across the side here, that's the power supply. We're just going to connect the correct wires to the correct positions.